Why do black people hate anyone who speaks truth? Anyone who suggests that they should hold themselves accountable? And we are the biggest determining factor in how our lives turn out. Why do black people, not all, but the vast majority, instead of listening to those people, we tend to look at them as if they are anti-black? They're telling us how to get to success, but we look at them as anti-black. It's hard for me, ladies and gentlemen, to listen to anyone who says something like that, who listen to truth and say they are trying to harm me and lend whatever you have to say next credible. This sparked my interest when I see on social media and I hear on several platforms people attacking Clarence Thomas. And they are attacking Clarence Thomas based on the decision with the Roe v. Wade. And I gotta be frank, anyone attacking Clarence Thomas regarding his input in the Roe v. Wade decision, I must question if you really know who Clarence Thomas is. Because I did a little research myself, something, is foreign to Americans nowadays. And I realized there's a lot of things about Clarence Thomas I really didn't know. Now, some of you may have known, I didn't know. Clarence Thomas is a hoe. I'm just being real. Clarence Thomas is a hoe. He enjoys sexual pleasure with various women. At least he's done that in the majority of his life in his adulthood. If you look up Clarence Thomas, there's stories and stories and stories out there about how he's cheated on his ex-wife several times. I think right now him and his current wife travels from state to state having a good time. Clarence Thomas, I'm not trying to disparage the guy. I'm just saying he enjoys sexual pleasure, just like the majority of America. But I have to actually give kudos to Clarence Thomas. Yes, I have to give kudos to Clarence Thomas. Because as somebody who has the proclivity to slang his thing around a little bit, you must salute somebody who is standing for something that actually goes against their lifestyle. I mean, most people have identity politics. There you look at politics based only through your lens. But this guy's slanging thing all around America, and he's anti-abortion or anti-Roe v. Wade, you gotta give him credit. Because the majority of people that I see out here supporting Roe v. Wade are also those who are out here slanging their thing or slanging their puss. These are people who are championing irresponsible sex all over America. But Clarence Thomas has always represented, and still is to this day, wanting a better America. Has always represented wanting black people and ourselves to pull ourselves up from our bootstraps, to take personal accountability. And honestly, guys, there's been a fight by who else? The Democratic Party, to shut Clarence Thomas' mouth. There's always been a fight to discredit Clarence Thomas, to make him look like a straight coon, a straight Uncle Tom, a straight sellout to the black community. Why? Because they want us to stay where we are. They don't want us to actually find a solution, because they want to be our solution. They want us to rely on the government. They want us to keep voting for them. They want us to keep them in charge. They don't want you to have your own individuality. But I know this is not a new thing whatsoever. This is something that's been going on in the black community with our relationship with the Democratic Party forever. There's so many great men and women that black people have totally disregarded, have basically wanted to kill these people, and some people we have killed based on their disrespect, quote unquote, to black communities. Let's start with my favorite, Malcolm X. When Malcolm X was spouting all this white man hatred, he was safe. He didn't have any attacks against him. His life wasn't on the line. His family house wasn't getting burned. But the very moment that he started to speak truth about the organization he was a part of, when he started to speak truth that I worship with men that did not look like me with blue eyes in Mecca, when he started to speak truth about maybe coming together with other leaders such as Martin Luther King, when he started to speak that truth, his life was in jeopardy and later taken. What about Ben Carson? Ben Carson has talked about for decades how he came from poverty. He came from welfare and became a freaking brain surgeon. He has the tools. He's been through everything that a black person could go through. The Democratic Party finds any way to discredit this man. The moment he holds black people accountable, he's a coon. He's an Uncle Tom. He speaks for the white people. But all he does is tell you how black people can do it. And he's married to a black woman. What else do you guys want? Dr. Carol Swain is a black woman. I thought all black women were queens, according to some people out there. Dr. Carol Swain is an amazing woman. When I say amazing, I mean amazing. She became a Republican back in 2009. She tells the truth about the Democratic Party. If you look up her whole story, man, she went through a lot. I mean, she had a child that passed away. She went through a divorce. Her story represents a lot of other black women out there. But yet, black people call her a coon. Yet, black people call her uncle, or shall I say, Auntie Tom. There's no logic behind hating Dr. Carol Swain. And honestly, majority of people will not know her. And to me, that's actually a bigger problem. The fact that you don't know people like this. The black people I know have no clue who this lady is. Black people I know barely know who Clarence Thomas is and barely know who Ben Carson is. Why don't black people know people like this? When we talk about black history, I think the month of black history is full of crap because it should always be a topic of discussion. We should bring up people like this. People who have been great for decades in the black community. Now let me go to some more controversial people that y'all refuse to acknowledge and y'all continue to shut down. Larry Elder. He's a radio personality, a libertarian, not even conservative. He's a libertarian. He allows gray areas here and there. But ultimately, he's been talking about black people being responsible for themselves. He doesn't believe in the outright racism that people claim that America is. There's no institutional racism that's currently going on in America. And I happen to agree with that. Black people refuse to listen to this man. Black people call this man every name in the book just because he holds you accountable. Jesse Lee Peterson. Jesse Lee Peterson is also a radio host, one of the funniest guys on the radio and on YouTube. For the last, I believe, 30 to 40 years, Jesse Lee Peterson has been talking truth online, on the radio. Yes, he's controversial. Yes, he comes across as a troll at times. But there's so much that you can take from JLP and add that to your life. You can eat the meat, spit out the bones, and you will definitely see productivity to your life. But yet, black people call him a coon, Uncle Tom, Oreo. But most of y'all must be a beta. And last but not least, but this is definitely not the end of this list. This list can go on forever. But I must bring up this guy, Tommy Sotomayor. Tommy Sotomayor is a YouTuber, radio host as well. But more than anything, this guy is an amazing, thought-provoking personality. You don't have to agree with everything he says. But this man holds black people accountable. In particular, black women. And I know that's so anti to do in the black community. God forbid that black women be held accountable. How can black women not be held accountable when we're the only community that's a matriarchy? If the women are in charge, how come we cannot hold them accountable? But Tommy is most definitely controversial. I would not argue that. He will call you a bitch. He will call you a hoe. But I find it curious, though, because your mama call you a bitch. Your mama call you a hoe. You still listen to her. She actually called you personally a hoe. At least he called the general you a hoe. Sad to say, black people have been torturing this guy, so to speak, online for at least 12 years now. And it's to the point he's no longer even online. It got to that extent. Black people, why do we seek to destroy other blacks? Why do we seek to destroy? It seems like whenever you hear truth, you find a way to discredit that person first. Nobody docks more than black people. And the doxing starts only because you're looking at this person and saying they're speaking too much truth. Let me find out why it's wrong for them to say the truth. Not what they're saying is wrong. Let me find out why it's wrong for them to say it. And I'll tell you guys, it's extremely heartbreaking. Even on my small level that I'm on, I get this type of bull crap. You would think you got to worry about people like the KKK. You would think you got to worry about people who are these so-called white supremacist groups. You don't. They found a roundabout way for blacks to do it themselves. What's more powerful? For me to punch you or for me to convince you to punch yourself? Wake up, black people.